What to do when all safety measures fail to protect you from an animal attack during a safari. How safe are we really in animal territory? In a matter of seconds, the line between adventure and danger can be crossed, and you may find yourself face to face with a wild predator. In this video, we'll explore real stories of tourists who, by ignoring basic safety rules, faced fatal attacks from some of the most feared animals on the planet. Get ready to understand how small slip-ups can turn a dream safari into a deadly nightmare. And of course, by the end, you'll learn how to avoid this from happening to you. Across the vast savannas of Africa and the dense forests of Asia, tourists in search of unique experiences embark daily on safaris that bring them dangerously close to wildlife. Lions, tigers, elephants, and hippos appear before the lenses of enchanted visitors. However, behind this intimate connection with nature lies a constant risk. According to reports from BBC Wildlife and data from natural parks, attacks on tourists are not as rare as one might think, and the speed at which they happen surprises even the most experienced guides. Most fatal incidents occur when basic safety rules are ignored. Tourists who step out of safari vehicles try to get closer to animals, or make sudden movements create extremely dangerous situations. As pointed out by National Geographic, lions can reach speeds of up to 50 miles per hour in a quick attack, and tigers, with their strength and agility, often act before they are even noticed. Human negligence is, in many cases, the trigger for avoidable tragedies. Wildlife parks like Serengeti, Kruger, and Chitwan offer robust infrastructure with trained guides and strict rules. Still, fatalities continue to occur, not due to lack of preparation by the parks, but because of impulsive decisions made by visitors. In a world where the safari experience has become a symbol of prestige and adventure, the desire to capture the perfect moment leads some to cross critical boundaries. As noted in studies published by the African Journal of Ecology, the risks are not regional but global, affecting tourists from Rwanda to India. In many of these reports, the pattern repeats itself. A brief moment of carelessness, a reckless movement, and tragedy strikes. Many survivors face devastating injuries, like businessman Tom Siebel, who had to undergo 15 surgeries after being attacked by an elephant in Tanzania, according to the New York Times. These episodes reveal something fundamental. The wild is not domesticated. And as we'll see next, some of these attacks made headlines around the world, such as the one that occurred in 2016 in China. In July 2016, Battling Wildlife World, a safari park located on the outskirts of Beijing, became the stage for one of the most tragic scenes ever recorded in an Asian safari. A Chinese tourist, in the middle of an argument inside the safari vehicle, unexpectedly got out of the car, going against explicit safety warnings. Within seconds, she was attacked by a Siberian tiger. The young woman's mother, trying to rescue her, was also killed. As reported by CNN and confirmed by security footage, the attack was swift and fatal. The tigers at Battling live in semi-open areas where visitors move around inside vehicles. There are signs, recordings, and constant guidance from staff. Even so, human negligence once again proved to be the weakest link. According to the South China Morning Post, the park had already recorded other similar incidents, which led to protocol revisions, although the ultimate responsibility still rests with the visitor. The tiger's instinct prevailed. In that moment, she was no longer a tourist. She was prey. Tigers, like lions, are silent predators driven by instincts that respond to any perceived vulnerability. In the context of Asian parks, such as Battling and others in India and Indonesia, this kind of attack exposes an uncomfortable truth. The environment may appear controlled, but nature never is. According to the Wildlife Conservation Society, rapid attacks by big cats in enclosed parks are rare, but almost always fatal. In a matter of seconds, an impulsive walk can become an irreversible mistake. The Battling case reverberated globally, sparking debates about safari vehicle safety, park responsibility, and tourist awareness. However, as we'll see in the next episode, not even fences or clear guidance can prevent tragedy when human instinct outweighs self-preservation. Just as happened with a journalist in search of the perfect shot, face-to-face with a South African lioness. In 2015, journalist and visual effects editor Catherine Chappell, known for her work on the series Game of Thrones, visited a wildlife park in South Africa with a noble purpose: to document African wildlife for a conservation project. She was at the Lion Park, located near Johannesburg, an area known for allowing safaris in closed vehicles. However, during the visit, Chappelle made a fatal mistake. She opened the window to photograph a lioness up close. The animal's response was immediate and lethal. According to BBC and National Geographic, the lioness jumped through the car window and attacked her with surprising force. Park rangers reacted quickly, but the neck bite was fatal. The driver, who didn't have time to intervene, survived with minor injuries. According to park management, the tourist had been warned to keep the windows closed, a basic rule in safari vehicles, especially in areas of direct contact with wild animals. The case raised serious questions about animal behavior in the face of human error. Even when accustomed to vehicles, lions have not lost their predatory nature, alert to any opening, any gesture, any lapse. Wildlife Act, a conservation organization in South Africa, emphasizes that familiarity with humans does not reduce the risks, it only masks them. At its core, it's a dangerous illusion, fueled by the quest for clicks and perfect shots. This episode, besides being tragic, highlights the growing number of fatalities involving tourists in wildlife parks across Africa. Safety, animal behavior, and impulsive decisions remain intertwined in a scenario where the boundary between the natural and the human is much thinner than it seems. And as the next story reveals, not even the size and intelligence of primates guarantee predictability. As a honeymooning couple discovered in the forests of Rwanda, Volcanoes National Park in the heart of Rwanda is known for housing one of the largest remaining populations of mountain gorillas. In 2016, this natural paradise became the scene of a tragedy. During a honeymoon safari, a tourist was surprised by a sudden gorilla attack. According to the Rwanda Development Board, the animal apparently felt threatened by the group's approach, which subtly crossed the recommended safety distance set by the guides. With their colossal strength and remarkable intelligence, gorillas live in balance, until protective instinct turns silence into fury. In this case, as mentioned by African wildlife experts in the Journal of Wildlife Management, the attack was interpreted as a territorial defense gesture. The group's dominant male reacted protectively, lunging at the tourist and seriously injuring her, while the other visitors retreated in shock. Although gorilla attacks on humans are rare, when they do happen, they reveal the colossal strength and speed of these primates. The incident reinforced safety protocols during visits to African wildlife parks, especially those involving large primates. It's a powerful reminder that, despite the calm appearance of gorillas, they are capable of executing swift and devastating attacks if provoked, even accidentally or through negligence. The tourist survived, but the physical and emotional injuries left deep scars. As noted in the report from the International Gorilla Conservation Program, human presence, even when well-intentioned, requires boundaries. And yet, not all lessons are learned in time. In another part of the continent, a similar tragedy would involve an even more famous and revered feline, the lion. As cited by the South African National Parks Authority, many tourists underestimate animal behavior, believing that big cats are domesticated due to their apparent comfort around safari vehicles. Nothing could be further from the truth. Negligence, even momentary, can turn a fascinating journey through natural habitats into a fatal scene. After the incident, Lion Park strengthened its safety measures and driver training. But the Catherine Chapel case became emblematic, often cited in conservation talks and tourist guides as a real example of the consequences of ignoring boundaries. And not all attacks come from visitors. In some cases, even safari guides face the wildest side of the animal kingdom. In July 2015, in the vast landscapes of South Luangwa National Park in Zambia, an experienced guide named Will Scott was leading a group of tourists along a wildlife viewing route. The day seemed calm, like so many others in African wildlife parks. But animal behavior can change in the blink of an eye, and that's exactly what happened. A leopard, hidden in the branches of a tree, suddenly leapt onto the safari vehicle, catching everyone off guard. As mentioned by the Zambia Wildlife Authority, the attack was instantaneous, leaving little time for any reaction. Will Scott was severely bitten on the neck and arm, dying on the spot. Leopards are masters of camouflage and ambush, traits that make them notorious and dangerous hunters, especially when they feel threatened or encroached upon. Although safari vehicles are designed to provide safety, the unpredictable nature of these predators represents a constant risk. Fast, silent, and lethal attacks are part of these animals' survival instincts. Cases like this reinforce the importance of respecting protocols and maintaining maximum alertness, even among trained professionals. The incident shook the community of guides and conservationists and raised new questions about the balance between adventure tourism and safety in wildlife parks. Fatalities like this show that in wild regions, dominance is never human, and sometimes even the most prepared individual isn't fully protected from a sudden attack from the shadows, as in another case involving a well-known name from the tech world. In 2009, tech billionaire Tom Siebel was on a photo safari in Tanzania when he was surprised by a young elephant. The expedition, organized in one of Africa's most famous wildlife parks, seemed to follow the standard wildlife viewing script, but the group's approach was interpreted as a threat. In a sudden attack, the animal knocked him down and trampled him with brutal force. The scene unfolded in a matter of seconds, as reported by Forbes magazine. Siebel suffered multiple fractures, including to his ribs, hip, and leg, and underwent no fewer than 15 surgeries to reconstruct his limbs. The episode was a painful reminder that elephants, despite their imposing and calm appearance, can be extremely dangerous when they feel cornered or stressed. As noted in National Geographic, these animals are responsible for hundreds of deaths annually across the African continent, surpassing even tiger and lion attacks. Animal behavior, especially in species like young elephants, can be unpredictable in situations where territory or group safety is perceived as threatened. Although safari vehicles and experienced guides help minimize risks, there is no way to completely eliminate the possibility of fatalities. In some cases, negligence lies in misreading the scenario, not necessarily in directly breaking the rules. This incident not only sparked safety discussions, but also brought attention to the psychological impact that traumatic experiences like this can leave on tourists. Wild animal attacks are a global concern, and even the best prepared individuals can become victims. And as we'll see in the next account, the danger doesn't always fall solely on visitors. In 2015, in the heart of Kruger National Park in South Africa, one of the most renowned wildlife parks in the world, an experienced guide, Curtis Plum, faced a life-or-death situation. While leading tourists in an open safari vehicle, a leopard lurking nearby suddenly pounced and attacked him. The feline bit into his arm with force while still partially inside the vehicle. The attack lasted only seconds, but the tension made time feel frozen. According to the Kruger National Park Authority, Plum had the presence of mind to maneuver the vehicle, which disoriented the animal just long enough for another guide to intervene. The leopard was put down, but the impact of the attack left everyone in shock. Cases like this show that even the most prepared professionals are vulnerable to instinctual animal behavior and rapid attacks. Only seconds separated Curtis from a possible fatality. This type of attack exposes the constant risk of working in environments with roaming predators, where even a small misjudgment can have drastic consequences. Safari vehicles offer some protection, but they are not absolute barriers. In this case, the negligence wasn't human. It was simply a demonstration of nature's unpredictability. And that's where an inevitable question arises. If even an experienced guide can be caught off guard, what about unsuspecting tourists? In the next events, we'll see how a simple disobedience of basic rules can lead to a fatal outcome involving a stampede of elephants. In 2017, 2 Dutch tourists were killed by a herd of elephants during a safari in Zambia, near Kafue National Park, one of the largest and most biodiverse wildlife parks in Africa. According to the Zambian tourism agency, the couple had exited the safari vehicle to take pictures against the instructions of local guides. Moments later, a herd of elephants charged. Elephant attacks, although less frequent than those by big cats, are notoriously fatal. With their immense size and unexpected speed, they leave little or no time for any human reaction. Just like in many incidents documented across parks in Africa and Asia, the key to survival lies in respecting boundaries and understanding animal behavior, especially in areas with intense territorial presence, such as those used by herds for feeding or protecting their young. The episode laid bare a recurring problem on many safaris: negligence on the part of visitors, who often underestimate the dangers in pursuit of the perfect photo. Even with well-equipped safari vehicles and experienced guides, safety can be compromised when basic rules are ignored. Fast attacks like this leave no time for regrets. Unfortunately, this was not an isolated incident. And although elephants are the giants of the savannah, there is another mammal even more lethal: known for its almost comical appearance but capable of causing a frightening number of deaths among unsuspecting tourists. Among all the giants of the savannah, few are as surprising as the hippopotamus, a silent threat hidden behind an almost harmless appearance. Despite their seemingly calm behavior and bulky appearance, these land giants cause more deaths on the African continent than lions and crocodiles combined. Carol Sue Kirkin was one of the tragic victims of this threat when she was attacked by a hippopotamus during a safari with her son, as reported by the African Wildlife Foundation. In an episode that exemplifies the hidden danger of these animals, the hippopotamus quickly approached the boat they were in before attacking with its immeasurable strength. Although tourists generally associate the dangers of wildlife with predators like lions or tigers, hippos are known to be highly territorial and aggressive, especially near rivers and lakes. They can run up to 30 kilometers per hour on land and attack with a bite force strong enough to crush a human being in seconds. Although hippopotamus fatalities are common, they are usually less reported than lion or tiger attacks, as they often occur in aquatic environments where tourists are less alert. As mentioned by the World Wildlife Fund, most of these deaths occur due to negligence in not following guide instructions or getting too close to these seemingly calm animals. Contrary to what many might think, the greatest danger on safari isn't always the large predatory beasts, but the less obvious creatures like the hippopotamus, which attack quickly and without warning. And while some animals can be controlled, what can be done when the risk is invisible, even in the water? After everything you've heard, it's worth asking, is it really worth the risk? In a world where nature still has the power to surprise, and even scare, are we truly prepared for the real dangers that lurk in the jungles and savannas? What we've learned from these tragic stories is that wildlife doesn't make concessions, and safety on a safari depends far more on respecting the rules than we might imagine. And now, I want to hear from you. What would you do in a situation like this? Leave your comment, share your experiences, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning about the wild world. See you in the next video.